I swear, man, fucking CM Punk has some of the dumbest, most gullible fans in all of pro wrestling. It's like they are so fucking desperate. It's really pathetic. Treating this guy like he's The Rock or Stone Cold Steve Austin or some shit. Treating him like he's Daniel Bryan or fucking Edge or even Bret Hart. It's like some of you wrestling fans are just pathetic. You really make wrestling look bad, man. You really make guys like CM Punk walk on water. He doesn't care about you. CM Punk doesn't give two shits about you. He doesn't care about you, man. I'm seeing these versions crying over this dude. For fucking what? What are you crying over? He's a failure. Once he left the WWE, he's been a failure since 2014. He's failed at everything he's touched since leaving his last company. And you people are just giving him a fucking hall pass like nothing has happened. He's selfish, he's smug, he's arrogant, he's cocky. All he cares about is the bag. You know why he didn't go back to his last company and he chose AEW? Because they didn't call him. They didn't offer him shit. But guess what? If Vince McMahon would have offered him more money than Tony Khan, guess what? His ass would have went back. He's fake. He's a fake human being. If the WWE would have offered him more money, he would have went back. No questions asked. He would have went back. Hence why he did Backstage, remember? That show was linked to the WWE. So just imagine if Vince would have offered him shitloads of money to come back. He would have came back. But from CM Punk's own mouth, they didn't talk to him. They didn't offer him anything. So that speech he gave on fucking Rampage was just full of it. He was just pandering to his smart mark AEW audience that hates the WWE. He was just pandering. He was just playing along. He was just playing along. All that was fucking pandering to a niche audience. Like, bro, like, this is a guy who left wrestling as a crybaby. He left wrestling because he did not like wrestling anymore. He had no passion for it. He was talking shit about wrestling. He was talking shit about guys from his last company. He was talking shit about the product. He was talking shit about wrestling as a whole. He wanted nothing to do with it. Knowing that he knew he had hardcore fans that wanted him to make a fucking comeback. But guess what? He didn't care. He didn't care that his loyal fan base was begging on their knees for him to come back. Is he deaf? He didn't hear the chants in arenas. He didn't hear people chanting his fucking name at shows. He didn't care about that. So he ignored people's love for him. Even though his last company made him a fucking millionaire, his fans made him who he is today. But guess what? He left his last company and he just took his ball and he fucking went home. This guy was a failure in fighting UFC. He failed in that. He failed as a color analyst for the UFC. He failed as a broadcaster. He failed as a fucking actor. Oh yeah, remember what Reigns said about Punk not being a draw, him not being on a Cena level. Okay, where was the lie? Have you noticed CM Punk has done a couple of D-list movies? He's made a couple appearances on TV shows, TV series, movies. How come we don't know about it? How come it ain't covered? How come it's not? How come CM Punk's not in box offices? How come John Cena was in Suicide Squad? How come he was in the Fast and Furious? How come John Cena's in commercials? How come John Cena's in box office movies? Punk has been doing movies since 2014. How come we don't know about him? Because he ain't no fucking draw, man. Look, all right, he pulled a cute number last Friday. You know, it was cute. You know, I think he pulled like 300K more viewers. Bruh, that ain't gonna last. 2 to 3 weeks from now, Dynamite and Rampage will dip down to the regular audience. Dude, this was hyped up. People knew he was coming. It was hyped up all over social media. People knew he was fucking coming. Wrestling is a small bubble. People knew he was fucking coming. That's why it was sold out. People knew. Look, is that impressive? Having a whole building cheer your name in your own hometown of Chicago. It's fucking Chicago, man. That's where he's from. Why wouldn't that give him a strong pop? Come on, man. How is that impressive? He sold out his hometown city's building, and his return was highly anticipated. How is that impressive? I'll tell you what's fucking impressive. Have that same reaction in a town that's not from your hometown on short notice with no promotion. I mean, yeah, they probably would cheer it, but not up to the extent of last Friday. Like, fuck no. But the point I'm trying to make is he's no Edge. Like, why are you treating this guy like he's Edge? He left the business as a crybaby. He left the business because he couldn't main event WrestleMania like a fucking mark. This guy was crying because the Miz was main event with WrestleMania. Well, bitch, you ain't fucking Miz. You're not box office like the Miz. You're not well known like a Miz. It's like, yeah, now he's well known now, 7 years later, because all these marks was trying to beg for his return, and guess what? He didn't return. Even though y'all begged him to return numerous times, he didn't return. Even though you diehard fans begged his ass, he didn't care about y'all. The only reason he's back is because of a fucking bag. Only reason he's back is because he failed at everything he's attempted outside of wrestling. Where is the lie that I just said right now? Where is the fucking lie? He's failed at everything since leaving the WWE. And now he's back in wrestling because, hey, that's the only thing he's fucking good at. That's the last time he was relevant, was inside of a wrestling ring. In the past 2 years, his name has been kind of down, and he knows it. His name has been that hot the past 2 years, and he fucking knows that. So that's why he also came back, because of money. And he knows his name has become somewhat semi-irrelevant for the past 2 years. Not a lot of people have been talking about him. But the point I'm trying to make is, I'm seeing these marks crying over this guy. Like he's Bret Hart, or like he's fucking Edge. Like, look, man. Edge's return was more emotional. That year where he made a comeback to the Royal Rumble, That was way more emotional than Punk's return. Why? Because Edge didn't want to leave wrestling in the fucking first place. He was forced out. He didn't leave. He was forced out. CM Punk voluntarily left because he's a fucking crybaby. Because he bitches and complains about being a top guy. Edge left because he was injured. He was forced to leave. People felt bad about that because he has passion for professional wrestling. He never wanted to retire. I know damn, but the past 10 years, Edge was dying on the inside. He was dying on the inside. He was begging to return to wrestling. He worked his ass off. Rehabs, surgeries. He worked his ass off to return to wrestling, and that's why people were crying and emotional when he made his comeback at the fucking Royal Rumble. That was genuine. That was real. We felt that. That moment was worth crying about because we love Edge. We know how much he loves professional wrestling. We know he never wanted to leave. Punk left voluntarily at a young fucking age. Man, fuck him, man. And fuck you CM Punk fanboys. Crying over this selfish asshole, man. Crying over this smug, selfish asshole who don't give a shit about y'all. Tony Khan has been begging this guy to come out of retirement for years. And guess what? He's always turned him down because the money wasn't right. He has no passion for professional wrestling. It's all about the money for this stupid ass guy. And you fans are just pathetic. When Daniel Bryan made a comeback, that was emotional. That man retired from a sport that he fucking loved. He didn't walk away because, oh yeah, I can't man event WrestleMania. This company has been treating me right. This company has been treating me horrible. What? Come on, man. When Daniel Bryan made a comeback, that was emotional. That was heartwarming. That was real. That was genuine. People wanted him to come back because we know he loves professional wrestling. CM Punk don't love shit. Only thing he loves is fame and money. All these years, 7 long years, these fans have been begging this asshole to return, and he's been saying no multiple fucking times. And y'all just fucking eating it up that he's back. Like nothing has fucking happened. Why are you happy that he's back? 7 years? 7 years now, he's older now. And all the reason he came back is because of money. He needs money. He needs to be relevant. Why? He failed as an analyst. He failed as an actor. He failed as a fighter. What else does he have left? He's not box office, man. I guarantee you this. This guy will eventually be like Christian Cage. He will eventually be like Sting. He will eventually be like Jericho. Eventually, he will blend in with the rest of the guys on that AEW roster. He will fucking blend in. And this little fucking hype train is gonna go down eventually. I'm like, wow, man, like he's not Edge. People were crying when they saw Edge. Why are you crying over this guy who doesn't love wrestling? Only thing he loves is fucking money. Money and fame. He doesn't love his fans. Oh my gosh, like do you remember the first All Out pay-per-view? Everybody thought CM Punk was gonna come. But why? Because he showed up at Starrcade, didn't he? Or whatever, Starcast, whatever the fuck it is. He showed up to a fucking convention that was in Chicago. Everybody thought he was gonna show up. Is CM Punk deaf? No. He knew the whole building was. He knew the building was expecting him to show up. Couple of years ago, guess what? He didn't show up. If I have millions of fans who want me to make a appearance inside of a fucking wrestling ring for the past 7 years, that means I don't give a fuck about my fans if I left them in limbo for the past 7 years. But hey, it's all good, huh? Nothing has changed. Nothing has everything is fine. Everything is cool. You got guys like a fucking Bret Hart who retired via head injury. You don't think Bret Hart wanted to come back? Bret wanted to come back. Bret Hart didn't retire healthy. He retired injured. He didn't leave as a healthy man. He didn't leave as a young, healthy man like CM Punk did. Why? Because Bret Hart loved professional wrestling. He never wanted to retire the way he did. It's like, wow, you fans are just gullible, man. Look, man, I'm not a fucking idiot. Whatever CM Punk selling, I ain't buying. He's back for money. Money and fame. And if Vince offered him more money, guess what? His ass would have went back. I swear, man, it's like his last company made him a fucking millionaire. How come you guys are ignoring that? And the only reason he's talking shit about his last company is because Vince don't want to offer him any fucking thing. That's why. But hey, let's just fucking ignore it. Let's just fucking welcome him back. Let's just welcome him back, right? After 7 long years of shitting on professional wrestling, which he was doing, he was teasing his fans, knowing that he knows he has a hardcore fan base who wanted to see him come back fucking 5 years ago. But guess what? He didn't give a fuck. Unlike Edge's fan base, us Edge fans, we was begging him to come back. And guess what? Edge worked his fucking ass off to come back. Because he loved professional wrestling. CM Punk don't love professional wrestling. Man, I swear, man. You CM Punk fanboy are just pathetic. Virgins. Y'all get no pussy. Virgins. Man, I swear, man. Look, man. It was a good moment that he came back. You know what I'm saying? It was a good moment. But crying over him, you are pathetic. Talk about, this gonna change everything. This gonna change the business. He ain't changed shit in his last company. Why will he change shit now? Especially when wrestling ain't as popular as it once was. So let's kill that fucking narrative, please. He ain't changing shit. He ain't changing shit. But look, man, that's all I have to say, man. He is no Edge. He's no Daniel Bryan. He's no Bret Hart. He ain't Terry Funk. All right. Let's cut down the shit with this whole emotional return. Crying over this guy. He don't care about you. If he did, he would have came back 5 fucking years ago. You fucking idiots. God, you wrestling fans are just embarrassing, man.